Hey, what's going on today, guys? My name is Ben, and I am Bald Man Gaming. And we had a great race last time as Albon finished in the points once again. And Max Verstappen has crashed out of two straight races, which has left the door open for Ferrari and Aston Martin early in the season to keep up with them. And so we will see what happens over the course of the season. But we are at Monaco, and we have a couple of upgrades that we need to decide on and then also continue to manufacture. All right, so our first design is going to be underfloors. We're going to be adding a lot more cornering, and then we're going to add just a little bit of top speed. We are going to take away dirty air tolerance a little bit, but I think that's going to be okay as we are adding a major amount of cornering to really keep up with a lot of these guys and hopefully become one of the best cornering teams by the end of the season. So we're going to go ahead and click develop. We're going to continue to do one engineer. It seems to be working pretty well for us. 1.4 million. And there we go. There's our next design. In 2 days, we'll have two more design slots to go for, and we'll look at those designs. All right, so our next design, we're going to immediately redesign front wings. And the purpose of that is because we're actually going to do our side pods here in a second, and they have a lot better of high speed and medium speed than the low speed. So we want to try to keep up with this low speed as we go through. And so we're going to add a significant amount of low speed. We're going to add back some of that dirty air tolerance that we took away with our other design. And we're going to add just a little bit more brake cooling to help out the longevity of our tires as well. So we're going to get that going. One seems to be working for us, 1.6 million, 45 days, and those front wings will be done. All right, here's what we're doing for our final design this episode. We are going to be doing our side pods, and we are going to be adding a lot of high speed and medium speed. That's why we added a lot more low speed cornering to our front wing. And then we're going to just basically stay the same in engine cooling, add just a little bit of top speed into it so that we can see all greens going through the side pod. So let's go ahead, hit it. One engineer, $1 million. 35 days later, we'll hit another design. All right, so we are going to go for Q3. It looks like our qualification target. I'm not sure how well that's going to go as we don't have the best low speed, and Monaco is a lot about low speed cornering, but we're going to go ahead and go for it. We're going to go click on and guarantee that we can get to Q number 2. It's asking for fastest lap. Let's go ahead. We can guarantee that we'll finish 15th or above with one of our drivers. And then I believe this is one driver qualifying 15th or above. Once again, I think we can achieve that. And we'll add on 15th or above on our finishing position. So as long as we kind of continue hitting our goals, we're going to continue making just a little bit more money for us, which is going to help us out in the long term. All right, so we are hitting up Q number 1 here. I'm going to send out Sargent and then send out Albon. I believe this is the correct way to do it, and just in my opinion, getting toes. But here's the deal: as we are letting our cars go out, and I'm going to simulate forward just a little bit to let this go. I have given the new front wing and the new rear wing to Logan Sargent. Both of them have new side pods on, but Logan Sargent has 3 new designs on him. And so they're better cornering, and they're going to bring significantly better pace to his car, as well as it looks like Albon on his first flyer got maybe held up by Bottas just by a little bit, and we're going into the tunnel, going through the tunnel and coming out of it. And so hopefully what this does is helps Logan Sargent finish in the points. All right, maybe we can finish in the points with Logan on this race. He should be faster than Albon by 1.157. Wow. We'll see if that holds up over the entirety of this quali, but we will see. That's already really significant. Let's see what happens, y'all. All right, so this time we're going to give Albon clean air, and we're going to have Sargent get the toe off of Albon. So this should get them pretty good on their clean air. As you can see, over on the left-hand side, Sargent is placed 6th right now, going faster than Russell, barely getting edged out by Perez and Hamilton. But Albon was a little slow, so we're going to give him a little bit of clean air, see if that helps him. See if part of this is that we just don't have good dirty air tolerance. And so that might be part of what's happening to Albon a little bit here. So Albon gets clean air. It's going to have clean air for the entirety of the lap here. And so we're going to see if Albon can start improving. He already has a green sector 1. Now they're into sector 2. Logan Sargent is going a little bit slower, so Albon gets a green sector 2. So does Logan Sargent, and they're going to get hit that DRS, and both of them are able to improve upon their times. After Q1, Albon's in 7th and Logan Sargent is in 9th. So we might be able to pick up some more points here at Williams. This is the hope, is that we make slow progress throughout the season. And then if we do things properly, we might be able to be very competitive next season. All right, so I think clean air is a big part of this. We seem to be going slower off of the toe. So we're going to let Sargent go out first. We're going to let this go for just a little bit to try to separate the two just slightly. And then we're going to let Albon go. I think that's a good enough spacing to let Albon go now. So let's see what happens this time. Hopefully both drivers have clean air. All right, so Logan Sargent has clean air. Albon's probably going to have to pass Lewis here on one of the straights. That's probably best case scenario right there for Albon. And so Logan Sargent finishes his 1:10.5, and Albon's going to finish his 1:10.3. All right, so pretty good start here. Let's see where everybody else starts qualifying. All right, so now after the cycle of everybody has now hit up their first lap, Albon and Sargent are queued up to go to Q3. We're beating out the Mercedes right now, and so we're going to throw out Albon first here. And then I think there's another car that is coming down pit road right now. I feel like I saw a Mercedes pop up. I could be wrong. But we're going to go back to Sargent, and then we are going to go ahead and throw Sargent out right now. Albon finishes with 2 yellow sectors, and let's see if Sargent can get just a green sector. No, not quite. So we're not going to improve upon our time. That puts Sargent into a precarious position. Hopefully, everybody, the Alpines, Mercedes, and the AlphaTauri does not go faster on their final laps. So as you can see, here are the results. Albon gets 7th, and Logan Sargent got 11th. He got 11th. He barely got beaten out by George Russell. And so Albon's into Q3. We hit our target, but Logan Sargent is starting in a great position. And so then it's going to be all about strategy. And so hopefully we can come up with the best strategy for him. All right, it looks like Albon is going to have clean air the entirety of this lap, and he is hopefully going to make it into maybe top 5. That's not going to do it, though. That was slower than what Sargent did in Q2. Sargent had 10.5. Albon had a 10.3, so we are going to have to pull him back in and see if we can get just a little bit faster. So unfortunately, Albon is going to be starting 10th. So we're going to be starting 10th and 11th, and we hopefully can hold on to points with Albon, maybe sneak in with Sargent, but it's all going to come down to the strategy. All right, so normally I'm pretty aggressive on strategy. It does help save a lot of time, and I think it helps the cars that don't perform quite as well to sneak into the points every once in a while. But Monaco is not one of those places that I want to be aggressive at. I think it's retain position at all costs and then try to maybe get an undercut, maybe hopefully get a little bit of luck to go our way. It's really hard to pass at Monaco. There's really only one straight that you can pass at, and it's really not a long straight. It's really not a long DRS. Every once in a while, you can get somebody out of corner. So we're going to go very conservative today. So we've got mediums to hards for both drivers. It's technically a little bit faster than soft to hards, and so that's what we're going to go with. We're going to go with the numbers, medium to hards. And let's see what happens. Let's see if we can sneak into the top 10. All right, and the 5 red lights, and they are out, and we are going to get racing. So let's look at our man, Logan Sargent, right to his left. That should be Albon there for us. And so Logan Sargent and Albon are going to duke it out to start off in 10th place. Looks like Albon is going to take that spot. That's not too big of a deal for us. But let's go ahead and see what the tire strategies are. There's a lot of split strategies going on. A lot of guys who are going to go hard to either medium or softs. A lot of people are going to go medium to hard. Some people are going to go soft to hards. So we will see whose strategy comes out on top. A couple of teammates are getting split in strategies. Some teammates are staying the same. So it's a very interesting start to the race. Albon on this first lap is looking very good. He is right up behind Hulkenberg, really trying to stick close to him. Hopefully we can stay behind Hulkenberg for the majority of this. He is on hard, so maybe we can shuffle him back a little bit. Once again, it is really hard to pass here at Monaco, though. As you can see, sometimes you just get little bad runs, and he is falling significantly behind Russell. And so maybe on the next lap, this one we're not going to have DRS, but DRS will start in the next lap. We might be able to take Hulkenberg if we get aggressive enough. I'm actually going to save a little bit of ERS, save a little bit of battery with our guys, just so that we can see if we can pass Hulkenberg, pick up a spot early in the race, and then maybe slowly try to pick people off. Maybe, I don't know, but maybe we can pick off Hulkenberg, shuffle him back to 11th, get a decent amount on the lead, and then pit right at the right time where we can have some clean air. All right, Sargent and Ocon are battling for 11th place, and Ocon gets by Logan Sargent. In that time, we were also able to catch back up to Hulkenberg. We got a little bit more aggressive on our tire strategy, catching back up to Hulkenberg, and we're hoping to get just a little bit of a tow on Ocon. Ocon does have mediums. His mediums are a little bit fresher than ours, as we did push a little bit to catch back up to Hulkenberg to try to catch DRS, go a little bit faster, but even maybe pass him at some point. Yellow flag, multiple cars crashed.
That's a lot of debris.
Multiple cars crashed. Let's see what happens. All right, so we've got the Red Bulls again. Oh no, the Red Bulls again? Looks like one of them got the wall just slightly. Man, Max Verstappen has had bad luck recently. Bad luck, and a lot of it has to do with Sergio Perez. Checo has hit him twice. Has hit him twice in the past 3 races. So we'll see if there's any damage to the Red Bulls at some point. But Alonso is running away from the field currently. I think he's on reds, though. Yeah, he's on soft. Whoa, Max! Max Verstappen's one of his tires is almost punctured. Perez has a penalty. This could be going all wrong for the Red Bulls. Max is going to have to come in and pit, and he's going to have to pit twice. He's going to have to pit twice. He has to go to a different tire other than hards at some point today, and so he is going to get past Leclerc, gets past Verstappen. Wow, this is not looking good once again for the Red Bulls, but it's looking great for everybody else. We probably shouldn't have as much joy to see the Red Bulls get some stuff done to them, as it looks like Max. Oh, Perez is out of the race. Oh, they retired Perez. They retired Perez. What is going on? That's another Red Bull retired in 3 straight races. Red Bull has had to retire somebody, and Max is now behind Tsunoda. Max is behind Tsunoda, behind Hamilton. Whoa! That puts Logan Sargent into the points. Logan Sargent's in the points, everybody. All right, so Sargent is in the points. Albon's not able to stay connected with Hulkenberg. But Max Verstappen now has to get through a little bit of a DRS train here, make his way back up. He's going to have to pit again, and everybody else has to pit once. Max is going to have to now pit again, and he's in 13th, and Monaco is so hard to pass. It is so hard to pass at Monaco, but maybe there's some more damage to Max Verstappen than we think, as he isn't catching Hamilton at all, and Hamilton's on used hards. Wow, this has turned out to be a really fun first little bit to this race. Sometimes Monaco can be a little bland, but you always love it when Red Bulls collide. It's happened twice in the last 3 races. So Logan Sargent currently is in 10th place. He's doing a great job keeping Tsunoda behind him. And there's actually a big enough gap between Albon and Sargent now to pit them both on the same lap, which is a good thing. But I just want to point out that it's been 5 laps or so, 4 laps or so since Verstappen stopped, and he continues to lose time on the DRS train behind Sargent. Continues to lose time on them. That, I mean, he must have more damage than we think, didn't have an extra, front wing, whatever it is, but he is not catching up to Hamilton. And that's quite significant, as he still has to pit again. He might go from like mediums to softs or something like that. So maybe he can pick up some more speed that way. But it's pretty amazing that he has not had to, that he can't catch up, that he can't catch up to Hamilton. Max Verstappen came out in 14th. Sorry, he came out in 13th from when he pitted. He is now in 14th, and Gasly has significantly dropped him. And Bottas, I believe, is catching Max Verstappen. So there's something wrong with Verstappen's car, which just makes everybody else's, smile even bigger. And so I'm really not that broken up about it. As I was talking about Max Verstappen, Ocon got past Albon. Let's see the replay. And so Ocon is going to get DRS on Albon right here. And he is close enough, and he takes a good racing line and gets it right past Albon. We'll see if we can retake that pretty quickly, hopefully on this next lap. We'll go on aggressive, stay close to him, and then we've got a little bit of battery to get him back. Let's see where everybody's tires are at. It looks like he's pushing a little bit. All right, so now we're starting to lose positions. I think people are starting to push pretty hard. So we're going to put our guys on aggressive. Sargent lost out to Sonoda, but Sonoda seems like he's pushing, which means people are going to start pitting here soon. I think people are just going to wear down their tires and start pitting. Yeah, Ocon is definitely going hard here, as he has increased his lap time. So we're going to go ahead. We're going to start attacking. It seems like that's what everybody else is doing. I don't want to lose connection with everybody. I don't want to get significantly undercut by people. So let's go ahead. Let's go ahead and attack. And it seems like everybody else is going to be able to hop on hards. And I don't want to have too big of a gap between us on our pit strategies. And Hamilton overtakes Sargent. Yeah, everybody's starting to push a lot harder. There goes Hamilton, great racing line, and gets it right past Sargent. Everybody is definitely starting to attack and work a lot harder than us, even people on hards. And so I think this is the time where we really need to make sure that we are keeping up with everybody. All right, so here's what I think we're going to do. As I start moving some of the sliders around, it just seems like, yeah, there goes Sonoda. It just seems like a lot of people are being aggressive and going to hop on the hards a little bit early to try to maybe undercut some people. I don't know if that is the actual faster way to do it. It will give them better track position, but I'm not sure if that is the better. I'm not sure if that's the better way to do it, pitting now. We're going to let our tires pretty much run out here, and then we're going to go in, but we're going to be aggressive as we're doing it in hopes that they get caught up in some DRS and they can't get past some people. So Sonoda and Gasly go from 10th and I believe 13th, and have dropped all the way behind Norris. And let's hope Norris can hold these guys up for a little bit, and we can continue to maybe increase our distance in between them. So it looks like a lot of the medium runners are starting to come in. Sainz had a pit stop issue. Alonso hasn't come in quite yet, so clearly people are definitely on some different pit strategies here. And Bottas just passed Verstappen. So Bottas just passed Verstappen. And so Max clearly has some sort of issue. Sonoda got by Norris. That's not as good. He's not getting stopped up as much as we need, although he's going to go for a 2-stop. That's what that means. He's going for a 2-stop. And we're going to go for he's going to go for an aggressive 2-stop. Interesting. People are definitely on different strategies. Gasly can't make it to the finish. Everybody's going to go in 2-stop. Interesting. But we're going to try to use Sargent to hold up Ocon here, because Ocon is now getting closer and closer. He should get DRS on this lap. And we have gone ahead and put Sargent on always defend, and see if we can go ahead and defend for our lives to try to hold him up, try to create space for Albon to be able to pit into. What happens with Logan Sargent here? I don't think Sargent is going to be able to defend that. Nope, he's not able to defend that. And so Ocon is going to go right by Logan Sargent. All right, so we're going to go back over to Albon, see if he can hold Russell back for another lap or so. Looks like that's going to be a good enough line to hold Russell back. And then we're going to also top up with him slow him up just a little bit more. Trying to hold up Russell for one more lap. Sargent is trying to hold up Sonoda for a lap. Sonoda's on some not total. Oh, there goes Sonoda. That's not really a great passing zone, but he does it anyway. But Sonoda's going to have to pit again. He's on some softs there, and then Albon is still holding up Russell. Yep, Albon's good, holding up Russell there for us. And so that's very good. And then Sargent has dove into the pits, going to put on some hards. Hopefully he can come out not in the middle of too much traffic, but he can maybe catch some DRS, maybe make a pass or two. And then by that time, hopefully some of these guys who are on the softs, they can get caught up into Hamilton and not be able to pass Hamilton right here. You never thought that would be said this early in the series, that Sargent is trying to track down Max Verstappen, but that's exactly what we're going to be trying to do, is track down Max, as we have fresh hards and he's got worn mediums. And so here we go on to hards, 2.5, even better than Sargent's. And so where is Albon going to come out? Bottas is there, Albon is there. He might be able to get in front of these guys, are right behind Bottas and Gasly. Let's see, Gasly is going to go right by Albon, and Albon's going to come out in 12th. And I think Gasly's going to have to pit again pretty quickly. And so maybe he's got some worn mediums on it. Maybe we can get pulled along by Gasly a little bit, as he might get a little aggressive. But the biggest help, honestly, would be Hamilton holding up Ocon and Tsunoda when they reach him. All right, so Bottas on the last little bit of his first stint on his hards. Looks like he is one stopping, is got DRS on Albon, just not quite close enough to make any sort of pass there. And so Albon has been dropped by Gasly, but Gasly is going to have to pit again. So that's not too big of a deal. It looks like Hamilton caught Russell, so Hamilton's going to get pulled along by Russell and not going to really hold up Ocon or Tsunoda at all. Little bit disappointing there. But Sargent is catching Verstappen. We're definitely going to catch that. We're definitely going to see our boy pass Max Verstappen early on in the career mode. All right, so let's live the glory of Logan Sargent passing Max Verstappen just like he is standing still right around Max. That is wonderful work by Logan Sargent to get around Max, and he's going to continue to pull away from Max. Clearly, there is a problem with that car. There has been a crash. Oh, Lewis Hamilton has crashed. All right, let's see how significant this is. He's fighting with an Alpine, really bad angle, and I don't know what happened there. I think maybe he clipped the wall or something like that. But Lewis Hamilton has hit something. We're most likely going to have to get a little aggressive on our strategy here, as I'm fearing that Tsunoda and Gasly have been able to build too big of a lead on Albon. All right, so Hamilton has pitted. He cycled behind Albon. We're getting a little bit more aggressive with Albon as he gets passed by Leclerc. So that's first place right there. So that's first place. And so they are lapping pretty deep into the field here. All right, so with a couple of the leaders being able to get by Albon, Albon has now gotten reeled in by Hamilton. Hamilton's going to try to make a move on Alexander Albon, switches from the outside back to the inside, and it looks like right there he is going to have Albon. So, here's to hoping that we can stay close to Hamilton. Maybe he can pull us along, as he has the medium tire, stay in range of him. So at the end, we can maybe take a push to track him down. But I just have this feeling that this Mercedes is just going to go away from us. All right, so Yuki Tsunoda is in the pits. Tsunoda is here. Albon is here. We're going to see if we can get Yuki Tsunoda behind us. I am not sure if that is going to happen. Go right to Albon and gets around Yuki Tsunoda. And so there is hope for us to finish in the top 10 with Albon. I think this race, I was a bit too conservative as everybody else was more aggressive. I didn't think that was going to be the case. But let's see. Let's see if we can keep Sonoda behind us. He is just about 2 seconds behind us, and he is on soft, so that's going to be a little rough in the beginning here. Let's see what happens. Let's see if we can keep Yuki behind us. As I finish up saying that, another car has gone around and lapped us and just drew Sonoda straight to us. And so Sonoda's going to have some good DRS, and then I don't know if he has any battery or anything like that. We still have Albon on high defending, always defending, and there just goes Sonoda. There goes Sonoda. There's not a lot you can do about that. I mean, we went hyper conservative. Everybody else went more aggressive. You know what? We should have been more aggressive. I think we learned for next year that we've got to be more aggressive at Monaco. All right, here comes Valtteri Bottas. He's going to try to get around Logan Sargent. I'm not sure if it's going to happen on this lap. Nope, Logan Sargent is good to go, and Logan has shut the door on Valtteri. All right, once again, Valtteri is going to get DRS. Oh, and he is going to get passed by one of the leaders, a Haas. A Haas is about to lap us. Oh, this is one of the teams we're supposed to be competing with. They're awful in real life. All right, so Valtteri Bottas once again has DRS on Logan Sargent as more people are starting to lap the field, and Logan Sargent continues to be good enough to keep Valtteri behind him. All right, so Pierre Gasly has gone into the pits, and Albon has benefited from that. He is now 7 seconds in front of Gasly. The issue is that I don't know if anybody else has to pit. Yeah, he's probably the last person who has to pit today, and he's going to definitely catch Albon within the first few laps and most likely make a pretty easy pass. All right, so there's been a crash on the last lap of the race. We've dropped a couple of spots. And Kevin Magnussen hits hard. Oh, if it only happened one lap earlier, I think we would have had a one-lap shootout or something fun like that. A little anticlimactic to a anticlimactic race. We had a really bad race. I don't know how. I mean, I really hope Magnussen doesn't end up in 5th. But you know, Albon lost a couple spots, ended up 1 lap down. Sargent was 1 lap down. He almost got lapped twice. We struggled in this race. I think that we could have gone more aggressive and probably ended up in the top 10. So that's my fault there. But good news is that Ferrari got their first win of the season. Charles Leclerc. There's Max Verstappen finishing 18th, 2 laps down. Sergio Perez, who's going to have a penalty to start the next race. And so here's what the driver's standings now look like. Max Verstappen is in 2nd. Charles Leclerc is in 1st. Fernando Alonso is in 3rd, and he jumps Checo. And Carlos Sainz and Stroll are doing pretty good for their constructors. And then the constructors championship, Red Bull has lost the lead, and Ferrari, after 7 races, is in the lead by 10 points. Aston Martin is 36 behind Red Bull, which if they have another race like that, you can see they'll draw even closer. But Haas had their best race of the season. And Williams, we are still in 7th. Fastest pit times, Williams, Albon, and Williams and Sargent looking good. We are in 3rd for fastest pit time. But ultimately, that was a disappointing end to that weekend. And so that has the majority of that is my fault. But luckily, we are going to have some new parts for the next weekend. Albon will have the new rear wing and the new front wing. And so we will be having some new parts for both of these guys in Spain. Well, thank you guys so much for joining me. My name is Ben, and I am Bald Man Gaming. If you guys like this video, like it, and then also subscribe to my channel. Comment down below. I'd love to interact with you guys. Thank you guys so much. Peace out.